Yes, honoring God is a key aspect when it comes to breakthrough. Many people are stuck because they always chase God when they are in difficulties. Yet, the name of the Lord should be honored even in moments of flourishing, when things are better. We don't run to God when things are not good. That is why it is a very great revelation to get revealed about the name of God. That's very important. When you look about the names of God in Scripture, God does not worship himself. It is we who worship him. When you go through something and you get a breakthrough before God, or you register a success after a walk with God, or going through some situations, definitely you become prompted to give God a name. That's what we call worship. Remember, there is a girl, Hagar, when she was in wilderness, in the desert, she encountered God. And she said, "You are the Lord who sees." Hagar was a maid of Abraham and Sarai. And she conceived when Abraham got into her life after the disappointment of a prolonged waiting without getting a child, because Sarah was barren. But after the painful experience of Hagar, she went into desert and had no water. She had to encounter God in the desert. And she cried, "You are the Lord who sees." God, when God revealed himself to Hagar, Hagar worshipped God. So, honoring the name of God is so important, because many people, they always forget and start to be rebellious against God. When you look into the scripture, you go into the book of Psalms, chapter 106, verse number 23, where the Israelites were rebelling against God when they forgot all the marvelous things he had done for them. And finally, what they did was to speak and murmur against God. Yet, he's the God who helped them through the tough times. He helped them to overcome the experience of Egypt, going through the wilderness. He did all the provisions. He made even the Red Sea to divide its waters into two parts, and paved a dry land, a dry path in the sea. But they had forgotten all that. But we thank God. Intercession can change the wealth of God, can calm the wealth of God. When Moses interceded, because God was so annoyed about a generation which does not remember his name, but when Moses interceded, things came okay. When God forgave them, and that's the point I'm talking about. That always God comes to us at a point of renewal, the renewal of mind, at a point of elevating his name, at a point of honoring his name. We want to look at how people honored God in Bible times. In Bible times, people honored God, because the level of honor you give God is the level of honor He will honor you. One of the key examples, we see this man, Jacob. Jacob erected an altar. We see when he went at Bethel in Genesis chapter 35, verse number 1 to 3. Genesis chapter 35, number 1. And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God that appeared unto thee, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his house, Hold unto all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. In this scripture, Jacob never went alone to Bethel. He never went alone to the house of God, or he never went alone to pray. He gathered all the family, all the children, and he told them, please, make sure you take away all the idols and evil altars, and then he led them on their way to go to the house of God. So that's very important. He told them, let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God. It is not good to seek God alone as a father, as a head of family, because you can do a good thing by raising an altar before God. You worship, you clean everything, you purify yourself, but your generation, because it is not engaged and doesn't know God, then they reverse all the struggle, the spiritual struggle which you've done. So we find this man, Jacob, he engaged all the children, he engaged his family. I don't know how big was his family, but it could be quite a big family. He engaged them all to seek the Lord. So at this point, you might be there online seeing me, watching me. Please, it is don't be self-righteous. Make sure you involve your children, you involve your family to learn the Lord. I've seen so many people around the world where an elder knows God, but when the siblings do the opposite in society, they are perverse. We are supposed to be the bridge of our generation and the preachers to the generation. The God of our forefathers, the God of Israel, we have the mandate to transform the world by passing on the word and raising the name of the Lord. And the banner, Moses says, is a banner. He raised him and said, you are my banner. Yeah, that the banner of the Lord, his name, is raised in each of every family. And it is done by we heads of families, mothers and fathers, to raise a standard, to put a precedence of seeking the Lord. So honoring God is very important. And when we honor God, it means we shall seek him. We seek him to have direction in every situation. When you go into the book of Isaiah chapter 30, verse number 21. Isaiah 30, verse number 21. It's a wonderful scripture. It says that, and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. That means it is very important to be sober spiritually. If you don't pray and erect an altar, you will be affected and you will be deaf and dull. So it is my prayer that you open your spiritual ears and your spiritual eyes through honoring the name of the Lord. One, by erecting an altar of prayer, by giving thanks to him, living a testimony of the internal righteousness, not just to do things externally to please everyone, but the pure in heart, according to Matthew 5:8, shall see God. And as we raise his name, things will be better to us, and we shall live a very successful life as we respect the name of the Lord. And the name of the Lord is a strong tower. Thank you so much for such a wonderful moment with Pastor Thomas Kibirige from New Mind International Ministries. God bless you so much. We meet again next time. Thank you.